Welcome to Mrs. Pete's Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. Today is hashtag Tea Tuesday. This is hosted by my friend Patty at Life with Patty. You can go and check and see what she has posted and what everybody else in this awesome collaboration posts. You're going to see a variety of all kinds of things that people post, because you can do anything you want. And I've taken this time to do lots of different things. First off, I'll tell you, I am drinking my coffee with my collagen and my protein in it. A bit of splash of my flavored cream in there. So I have a lot of protein in this. So I always feel good if I get this stuff to begin with. Yesterday I went on and my third live. And this time I got it turned around right. I wasn't sure where everybody would comment because it looked different. The screen did. Landscape way, a couple people commented, and it made me feel better because at least I knew I was being seen. It was impromptu. I didn't tell anybody I was coming on. That's kind of the way if I ever do lives. I'm sorry, that's probably the way I'll be doing them because I don't plan ahead for those. They're impromptu, as I won't choose to call them. I guess that's like on the spur of the moment, like, let's just do it. I want to have a little subject just in case I didn't have anybody to talk to and nobody posted or said anything. So I had gotten, and you'll be seeing that later in the week. I hope that's right, English. At Rummage SALE, I will be showing that later in the week. I got an old book, songbook, and it has all kinds of 70s songs in it. And I just kind of went through the book and I talked about old 70s songs and some of them that I liked at that time. And if you're interested in that, you might, if you you can go back and watch it too. I did set up a playlist for my lives. So if you miss one and you want to go to the playlist, you're welcome to go. There probably won't be a lot, but most everything I have here, different categories I have in a playlist. So, and some of them are in more than one playlist. So hear the bird down the street. I keep thinking I'm going to catch somebody out there and go over and ask them if I can video their bird, the big bird. The noisy bird that sounds like he's whistling the same 2 notes all the time. Today is a glimpse of my life I thought I would do. It's getting harder. I wanted to show you, I did start off with another little book. And this book is full. And I just started doing this book. I got this, and if you've seen one of my Dollar Tree hauls, you will have seen me get this. Peace. Change that to H, and it says H. Peach. But peace. We want peace in our life. If you are not interested in anything I said or just want to skip to, I'll try and put a note in here to tell you where I began a glimpse of my life. It's not long this time. I am on episode 35, so this is my 35th one. I've talked about a glimpse of my life, beginning at my birth, well before my birth, and on up through my life, my married life, my getting married young preacher, traveling all over, pastoring little teeny churches, moving to all the different states that we moved to, and after 11 years, he decided to join the Navy, and what we didn't move one way, we moved another. And sad to tell you that after 19 years, we did get a divorce. So that's a little, but you can go in and fill in the little lines with all my videos if you like. I'm going to talk about my thrift store and used and rummage sale career. Do you have one of those? Sometimes different times in your life, you have different things. Let's see what I wrote. It's been almost a lifelong time of buying used or buying thrift store, or, well, not so much thrift store, like rummage sales at that time and things like that. So I thought I would start with my very earliest memories of this kind of thing. As you know, I was raised in the same church my whole life till I got married. And on Thursdays, they had women's auxiliary, the ladies did. And my mom went, and they would have a quilt out and they would sew on the quilt. And some didn't like quilt, they would be piecing the quilts together, and then the others they'd stretch it out on one of those stretchers, the quilt frames, and several people would sit on each side of the quilt and begin the quilt. And I've done a few of those myself, and I do like to do that. It's been a while since I made a quilt, but I've made several in my time. No, never had one of those big frames, that fill your whole room up. Anyway, that was our Thursdays, Mama's Thursdays, and of course, I would go along once in a while. They would sit there and quilt, and they'd take a little potluck to share with each other at lunchtime. They'd break at lunchtime, and then they would continue on till early afternoon. And that was, but occasionally, and the quilts, I should go back and say, they would give them to missionaries or sell them and give the money to either church projects to improve the church building. It was a poor church. You had to do a little bit, raise money to fix this and fix that, or they would send the money to missions. So there was a mixture of what they spent their money on. Well, occasionally they would decide to have a rummage sale, and they would announce a few weeks ahead of time, bring in all your stuff, and they'd get it from here and there. Clean out your house and donate this and that, whatever you wanted to donate. How we all still do. We take our things to Goodwill or to Salvation Army, or your place of your choice of where you want to take it. And that's what they did. And so then they'd have all these boxes and bags of things to go through, to sort it out, put it on tables, hang it up, whatever. I'll tell you the truth. That's one job I never liked to do ever. I've done my share of them, but I never really enjoyed setting up for a rummage sale. As I mentioned earlier, as I grew up, we didn't have so many thrift stores in the area. I think we had one called Value Village that I don't remember the time frame, whether it was actually whenever I was a young child, but we did have very few, not so many as they do now. It's a whole industry. When we evangelized, in my past, I told you about us traveling and evangelizing and pastoring. Well, I would always be looking for a place when I could, to go out and do some yard selling or thrift store buying. I remember one time I don't remember which state we was in, but we was evangelizing. We were staying in the pastor's home, and I got a chance to go by myself to somewhere close by, I'm sure, because I didn't like to venture out too far, and went to some sales, some thrift stores. And I remember coming back, and I had spent, it was less than $1. I want to say it was like 50 cents, but it was very little. And I brought home 3 items I had bought. And I was so tickled about those. And I told the pastor's wife, I don't know why she didn't go with me. I don't remember all those kind of things. But so she come and gave me, I don't even remember how much, but more money than I spent. And she says, you did so good with that. You need to have some more. She gave me a few dollars. So that was a fun memory there. All these years I've continued to go. Sometimes I rarely ever buy an awful lot, but and I want to get it as cheap as possible. And I want to think, do I really need that? Can somebody I know use it? Can I put it to a gift? You know, because you can find so many people get gifts and get items, you know, like especially older ladies, they'll get gifts and they don't really need it, and they'll hold on to it for a while, and then they'll put it in a sale, and then you can get a brand new item still in its box for a little or nothing. And some of them are good for gifts. Not everything. You want to match it up to a person you think would like it. You know, not just give them something that they would not appreciate. And let's see, what else I want to tell you. So even to this day, and you've seen on my channel, my name is Mrs. Peach Thrifty Living. That's one reason I wanted to name it, because I always have tried to live pretty thrifty. And I am excited to tell you how cheap I got that item, not how much I paid for it. You know, in the next few videos and the ones you've seen just recently, you've seen some of my things I've gotten cheap. Well, this week I have a few more, so I thought this would be a good time to go ahead and tell you about my history of thrift store, yard selling, rummage sales. I went to a big one. I will have videos later in the week of what I got on those. So those are fun videos. And one last thing I want to tell you is all three of my children, they like to go yard sales, thrift stores, and they buy their share just like I did. They are not ashamed. They like to go to the sales. So I would say they got that from me. That might be a good thing. And then some of my grandchildren are going and buying thrift store items and used stores and rummage sales and whatever. And they are going and doing the same thing. My granddaughter in North Dakota, she does some, in fact, if I think of it, I'll try and leave a link, if I can find it, to the time I went to the thrift store at her wonderful store in North Dakota. And I told her, find anything you want there and I'll pay for it. I mean, she outfitted so many clothes that day. I think it was about $75 I spent. And there was so much. I mean, it was well worth huge amounts over that. Okay, and then and then my granddaughter here, she was just telling me she had bought 2 or 3 things. In fact, I just heard of it. Now, you may have heard of this, but I have never heard this before. I seen it in the advertisements in, I think, Facebook or one of the groups, and they had said, free estate sale. So the last time I went to see my granddaughter, they had just gotten back from that free estate sale. What she said they did is, she said there was people, they were loading up, everybody had to bring their own trucks, their own tools to unmantle a bed or whatever it may be, and they just carried it off. What the people that owned it, and they probably went through and got every single item they wanted, and then they put it out for a free estate sale, and people just came in and got all kinds of things. And I don't know exactly how much my granddaughter and them got, but they did get a game, and they said, oh, we got this game for you. It was called King's Corner. It looked brand new. And then we talked about it, and I have so many games here, and we decided they should keep it over there. They might want to play King's Corner. If you haven't played it, check it out. Okay, I've rambled on and on. Now you know my whole history of my thrift store, rummage sale, whatever, thrifting life. Back tomorrow for budget meals under $5. I've got some good recipes for you tomorrow, and then I'll have my rummage sale later in the week, and got something all the time. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. I pray God just blesses you. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to comment, give me a little heart, thumbs up, and if you have subscribed, go ahead and subscribe if you would. It doesn't cost a thing. You know, they have the different programs that as you get a little further in your YouTube, you can, you know, have charge memberships and all that. I don't want to do that. I want it free for everybody. Bless you guys. And I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.